Medicare for All and the vision of what it will be includes an expansion of coverage.
All right, so Kamala Harris was being interviewed by Jake Tapper on CNN, and she actually fact-checked him on Medicare for All, which I was a little impressed with. Now, I have a couple of clips here to show you. The first part of the clip, she doesn't sound as great, and in fact, it appears she maybe even lies, so I'm going to fact-check her. But in the third clip, you'll see that she is defending Medicare for All. Now, whether you trust her or not, that's up to you. But let me first show you this first clip where they are talking about Medicare for All and private insurance.
I think the last time I saw you was the town hall. I want to ask you about something you said that night. You said on stage with me in January that when it comes to private insurance, quote, let's eliminate all of that, let's move on.
Yes.
Now you later said we don't need to get rid of all private insurance. So
But let's clear that.
Which is it exactly?
We were together.
Yes.
And you'll remember and roll the tape, please.
Yeah, we can roll the tape. Well, you support the Bernie Sanders bill, which essentially gets rid of insurance.
I support Medicare for All, but I really do need to clear up what happened on that stage.
Okay.
It was in the context of saying, let's get rid of all the bureaucracy. Let's get all of the ways.
Oh, not the insurance companies.
No, that's not what I meant. I know it was interpreted that way. If you watch the tape, I think you'll see that there are obviously many interpretations of what I said. What I meant is let's get rid of the bureaucracy. As it relates to Medicare.
But the bill gets rid of insurance.
But no. It does not get rid of insurance.
Okay. First of all, Jake Tapper really has to stop saying this. Medicare for All, the Medicare for All bill does not get rid of insurance. It does not make private insurance illegal. That's not what it does. He keeps implying that's what the bill does. He appears to know that because he's saying, oh, it essentially gets rid of insurance. Stop saying it if it doesn't. So this is something that he has been doing again and again and again, and it is just a complete lie. Now, Kamala Harris did essentially say, she basically did say that, yeah, let's get rid of private insurance. So I'm going to show you the clip that she is referring to here and decide for yourself.
And correct me if I'm wrong, to reiterate, you support the Medicare for All bill, I think initially co-sponsored by Senator Bernie Sanders. You're also a co-sponsor on it. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it?
Well, listen, the idea is that everyone gets access to medical care. And you don't have to go through the process of going through an insurance company, having them give you approval, going through the paperwork, all of the delay that may require. Who of us has not had that situation where you got to wait for approval and the doctor says, well, I don't know if your insurance company is going to cover this? Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on.
Okay. I mean, at the time, people thought that she said, because it appeared that she did say, let's eliminate all that. Let's move on. She said that to a question about, well, this eliminates private insurance. So, I mean, okay, she can now say that she meant something else, but there's no reason for her to backtrack here. She could, the way that she should actually be addressing this is, yeah, let's eliminate most of private insurance. She could say, okay, maybe I wasn't as articulate as I could have been in that clip. But yeah, Medicare for All eliminates the majority of private insurance, and there's still supplemental insurance if you want like plastic surgery or a private hospital room. I mean, there are still ways for private insurance to be offered within this system. In Canada, there's private insurance for things like dental care, but under Medicare for All, dental care, vision is covered. So Medicare for All is actually a better, or would be a better healthcare system than the Canadian healthcare system. But again, there has to be more clarity on here, especially from the media side of this. Jake Tapper knows that it does not make private insurance illegal, so he should not be saying that it eliminates all private insurance. No, talk about how there is still a lane for private insurance if you want it. But yeah, Medicare for All expands coverage because it also includes, as I said, dental care, vision care. So it expands coverage, making there less of a reason to have private insurance. So that's what they should actually be saying on this issue if they wanted to really inform people on what the Medicare for All bill is about. Now, let's play the last clip here, the second half of that interview, where I think Kamala Harris, I think, makes a good case for Medicare for All.
It does not get rid of insurance. And listen, and let me just tell you where I am. Let's tell you where I am.
All right.
I support Medicare-For-All. It is my preferred
As a principle, you mean, not Bernie Sanders' bill?
I support the bill.
Okay.
I support the bill.
Well, because the bill gets rid of private insurance for everything that
it doesn't get rid of supplemental insurance.
Right, for cosmetic surgery, but for all...
So it doesn't get rid of all insurance.
Okay, it doesn't get rid of all insurance, but for all essential benefits.
But why? Ask the question why. The question, the answer to that question is because Medicare for All and the vision of what it will be includes an expansion of coverage. So Medicare for All will include vision, it'll include dental, it'll include hearing aids.
There are a lot of members of unions, for example, who like their private insurance and the plans that have been negotiated on their behalf and don't want that replaced.
Well, listen, let me just tell you something. I completely agree with those members of organized labor who have negotiated for plans and have in those negotiation processes often given up what could have been higher wages in exchange for a higher coverage for health care. And we have to address that. It's a legitimate concern which must be addressed.
All right. Now, before I even get to Harris here, or what she said, it is fair to ask yourself, can you actually trust her on this issue? Can you trust her to fight for Medicare for All, considering that she has no history at all fighting for this until she supported Bernie's bill? I think it's very unlikely that Kamala Harris would fight hard for Medicare for All if she were to become president. I think if you look at someone like Bernie Sanders, who has a 40-year record fighting for a universal healthcare system, calls out private insurance, the private insurance industry directly and big pharma directly, and does it all the time. I mean, his whole campaign is designed around fighting back against special interests. You can trust Bernie on this issue. I don't think you can really trust Kamala Harris. Now, with that said, she had a great answer here. So she talked about how it expands coverage. And really, maybe the best point here that she mentioned that isn't mentioned that often is that these employers choose health coverage over higher wages. So this is an issue where, I mean, these companies are, when they offer you health insurance, what it does is it actually benefits them, because then it gives you more of a reason to stick with their company. So say you don't like your boss, or you don't like your job, or you want to start a business, you want to leave your job for whatever reason, but you have private insurance through your employer, and maybe it's great insurance. That makes you want to stick with that employer. That benefits the employer. It doesn't benefit the employee. The employee would have more freedom under a Medicare for All system because they would be free to leave their job, start a new company, do something different. They would have the freedom to live their life without having to be afraid of how to pay for health insurance. And not to mention, I mean, I have like multiple videos on healthcare at this point because I'm a Canadian, so I know how the system actually works and how the American system is just so completely rigged and just totally absurd. But there are so many benefits to a Medicare for All system. You still choose your own doctor. In fact, you have more freedom because doctors aren't stuck to certain insurance companies. It's everybody under the same plan, so it lowers costs across the board. It's less expensive through your taxes than you would be paying to a private insurance company. There's no more deductibles, no more copays, no more out-of-pocket expenses. It's free at the point of use. Medicare for All is the answer. Now, you just have to decide, who do you trust to actually fight for it?